Radio Free America. This is Uncle Sam with music and the truth until dawn. Right now, I got a few words for some of our brothers and sisters in the occupied zone. The chair is against the wall. The chair is against the wall. John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache. It's 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines, this is your song.
Yeah, welcome everybody to our daily gun show. Come to you live every weeknight at midnight Eastern, 9 Pacific. For about an hour, we talk about guns and no more hosts, I guess. It's just me. So me and the audience. There's 13 people showed up, and usually what happens when I'm sitting here by myself is the show goes pretty quick. So we'll see what's going on with the schedule. And I'm not going to bother to do best of the thing tonight because it's no fun when I'm by myself in here to do it. And I've got this project I'm working on. So I'm probably going to cut it a little short. We got Wednesday. Whatever happened to Star Shot? Anybody have a range with one? So I don't know what Star Shot is. Let's find out what Star Shot is. Anybody know? Oh, I get something about something that's happening in space. Shooting range. Shooting. Oh, okay. It must be some kind of clay shooting. Perhaps this. And I don't know what it is. So, never done it. Star Shot Wikipedia. Half circle target that was designed as a new way to enjoy clay target shooting. Invented in Scotland in the 1980s, the structure stands almost 30 feet high, divided into 12 supporting segments. They're released on command, and depending on what zone you shoot it in. Doesn't even show a picture, so that's worthless. So I don't know what's going on. I guess you shoot at this thing. I guess you're just out there shooting at a big giant contraption in the sky. And you get some kind of points. So some kind of big metal thing made out of metal, and then you shoot at it. And I don't know, I've never done it. So yeah, that'd be kind of neat. Never done it. Anybody else on the panel ever done it? Nope, I'm the only one on the panel. So interesting. And nobody out there has done anything about it. And Rooster's saying like a dartboard. Yes, so. All right, so that was a great topic. I've never heard of it before, and I've never had a range with them. So we don't have a member of the day. We'll go over to the last person. Now it's for the first person that said something on gun channels. That's Steven. And he is saying, sup, lame. So I'm thinking he's calling me lame. He's like, hey, what's happening, lame? And then he said he would jump in here. So he gave me like a pity link. I forgot about that. I could have sent him a link, but it's about to end. So I'm sending him a link now. But thanks for the offer. You're a member of the day. So Steven on the gun channel side. And Gun Channels is a place we built. It's a community, and people are over there hanging out. So check it out if you're so inclined. Otherwise, no. Next up is good idea, bad idea. Concealed carry insurance. I'll just get on here. So I'm gonna move this down to some week when there's actually somebody here with me. But that's timely because Ghost just did a chat about it, and then somebody else was just talking about it. So yeah, people are not necessarily looking at the big picture with that. So we'll look at that in the future. Let's see, next up is the gun shop of the day. And that's really the reason we're doing the show. So we'll open this up. and head over to Gun Shop Guide, one of the many websites that we have to organize some of the stuff that we've done over the years and to create platform structure so that people can do things like this, feature a shooting range. So this one was sent in by Rupan, and looks like it's a couple of locations. I think he mentioned he went to the New Hampshire one. I know he went to the Massachusetts one, and he said there also is a New Hampshire one. So he says he's been going to the shop since 2013, and we took a couple of pictures that he sent us and posted them here. It's like they're having some fun with dealing with what they got to deal with there. And we've got an assortment of stuff with pistol grips and mags. That's kind of nice, but yeah, definitely not the kind of numbers that we're used to seeing out west sometimes. We've got some interesting milsurp stuff, some hunting stuff. Slant wall. We never talk about how stores are set up, so I'm guessing this is like in a, I don't know, I want to assume, but it looks like, well, at first I was going to say it's in a normal strip center, but the carpet, it makes me think it might be a little older. Anyway, they went with a slat wall from like the waist up. Kind of neat. Anyway, a bunch of holsters, kind of a cool display here too. Looks like they got chairs, so possibly an area that they do CCW classes or some other kind of training. It's like they have a military desk here. So I zoom in on this. Where do I have it? F1 and zoom in on this desk. Oh, it's being weird when I try to zoom. That's zoomed in 500%. Let's open that. So here's 200%. Anyway, this is a military takedown desk. This part comes off and goes in the front to cover the drawers. It's kind of cool. Go back to 100-ish. And then we got the range. So it looks like 4 lanes we can see here. I don't know how many they have. You can kind of see where it says range prices here. And I like looking at pictures of things because saying they have 4 bays, that's one thing. But then seeing the 4 bays and seeing the walls and the way that the glass is set up, seeing sort of some clutter here, seeing how it sort of has some raw wood for the shelf and some fancy slat wall, that lets you know that it's a shop that's been there for a while. He mentioned that he's been going there since 2004. So, it's cool. It gives you a real idea of what's going on in these shops. Oh, I guess we didn't hit all the pictures. So then there's another one of the inside. I think that's carpeting. It might be concrete on the floor. And then one more. Oh yeah, the range has more lanes than that. So that was 3. There's at least 4, 5, 6, 7, probably 8 at least. Kind of cool. Looks like they're staged over here where they are back to the range. So they keep an eye on everything real easy. That's kind of cool, having targets underneath the cabinet there. And then they got their website, originalbobs.com. You're looking down here to look at guns, you're going to see that. So now you know their website right away. That's smart. All right. Well, that's the reason we do the show every day is so that we can have a conversation, hopefully give people a relief from some of the bullshit news that gets thrown down our throats on the regular media, but so that we have a structure, so we have a platform to talk about these gun shops. I built Gun Shop Guide a long time ago, so that's the place where we post the shops that we talk about. You can always check them out over there. They're organized by state, by type of shop. I kind of play with it a little bit. So if you've got an idea, if you find something difficult, there's always a search. So you can browse around that way or surf around that way or dig through the menus. But if you have ideas or anything, let us know. My email is for the show is dailygunshow@gmail.com. All right, that was our shop of the day. We'll see if anybody's been there. Steven left. No, that's right. It's about to close it down. He's offering again to jump in. Yeah, people are jumping in on the other side. Somebody else's show might have shut down. We've had 19 people watching. 8 people thumbed it up. Just thanks to the approximately half-ish that give us some feedback on it. The reason I mention that is because as an audience, you have some influence over the type of content that's going to happen in the world. When you do that with your television, you do it with your magazines, for sure. If you buy a magazine, that lets the whole system know that there's that interest in whatever the magazine is about. that gives the more value to the advertising space, that gives more potential to the sponsors that run that that keep that magazine going. So you participate there, and you do it with money. When you watch something on TV and talk about it, you keep those things going. You participate there, I guess, for free, except for your time. And then when you participate on the internet, you either can do it, and they'll track you. Sure, they're watching what you're watching, so they know what you're watching. But when you take the time to interact with the platforms that you're watching on, does a couple things. It lets that robot know that you cared enough about the particular content here that it's worthy, and they know everything you're doing anyway. So then they say, people like you thought this was particularly worthy. Maybe it's worth recommending to somebody. So you have some influence there, not just in the whole thing. Getting guns out there is something that's of interest, but particularly whatever it is you're looking at. So if you want to help somebody out that you're watching their product, and again, interacting with the platforms is not just petty. It is not inconsequential. In fact, it's ultimately consequential. And then I think there's also that aspect to it that you're reminding yourself when you click on a thumbs up on a video, you're reinforcing that concept that your view is part of something bigger than just entertainment. And I'm assuming people that are looking for entertainment are going in droves to the other shows out there. So I do appreciate the 19 people that are watching right now, and I'm not really giving a shit for not thumbing up. I'm just explaining why I talk about thumbs up. I could give a crap about popularity or trying to do shows that hit the trends or the topics to get the most views so that I can attract sponsors. But I do want to let the audience know that there's a method to that. All right. Yep. I agree with Roosted. Click thumbs up and then leave. That's what we have gun channels for. All right. So that was the gun shop of the day. The movie is called Lost Battalion. Never seen it, so can't give you any thumbs up or nothing about it. Gun history. I think we have something today. Am I crazy? Was that yesterday? Put all the gun stuff, all the gun history on a site called Gun Calendars. So if you ever want to check that out, it looks just like all the other sites, so that there's some consistency to them. And there's just that United States versus Miller that we talked about quite a bit yesterday, so there's nothing going on today. Let's see. Afghan chief, somebody defeats Mongol emperor, somebody in 1540. Well, how do we even know? No one was alive back then. That's could be made up. Denmark cedes Norway to Sweden. That's nice of them. Sounds like Michigan just taking parts of Wisconsin because they're upset with Ohio being mean to them. Let's see. Italian, somebody or another cedes belts on Jupiter's surface. Interesting. That was back in 1630. The first Kentucky Derby was run in Louisville in 1875. Watergate began its committee hearings today. And this is an interesting one. 1987, in the Persian Gulf, the American guided missile frigate USS Stark was struck by 2 missiles fired by an Iraqi aircraft. 37 sailors killed, 21 wounded. And I don't know if I remember the consequences of that. So that was 1987, March 17th, 1987. People being born today are not related to guns. So that's a little bit of gun history. If you know gun history, let me know. I do have that website set up for it. The whole goal there is to keep interesting tidbits in the culture, right, on the minds of people, and give us something that's value to look at each day when we're getting together to chat around the water cooler. You can, again, either decide to talk about what somebody else decided you should talk about that day, or you could talk about maybe something that happened in history that's worth not forgetting. All right. Thanks for posting that link, Pink. That was Gun Shop Guide. You can just go to gunwebsites.com. There's links to all the websites that are working right now. And as I build new ones, they'll get added over there. I think that's about it. It's Wednesday, so I got to take the trash out, and that means tomorrow we'll have an early watch, and we get together and talk about guns in the morning. Tony out in Illinois reads some of the news that he considers important for people to catch up on in the mornings, and then puts his spin on it. After that, Knives we usually have a live hangout, conversation about guns. It just happens throughout the day. Anybody's welcome to join in. Anybody's welcome to listen live, or after they happen. It gives you hours and hours, usually at least 16 hours a day of live conversation. It might not be thrilling, debate the whole time, but it certainly happens in there, and it's awesome potential that Knives makes available for everybody over there. Certainly take advantage of it. After that, the afternoon shows will start up. Anybody that's ever got a question about what kind of live stuff might be happening on gun channels, there's a link at the top right of every single page that says live show schedule. When you click on that, you'll get a list of what's going on throughout the week. So on Thursday, you got C4 Defense, who for whatever reason hasn't asked anyone to set up a channel over here, but eventually he will, I'm sure. But I guess he does a show probably on YouTube. Next, you get Yankee, and I think it's the week that Matt and I will join him for an hour or so. Then you got Clover does a chat on Thursdays, and I could have sworn there's other stuff happening on Thursdays. So if you are doing something on Thursdays, or if you know of somebody that does something on gun channels, then let somebody over on gun channels know. Myself, Night Strike, one of the others who's getting paid to do it, like Night Strike gets paid. You wouldn't believe it. I can't even afford to eat like warm food because of how much I'm paying Night Strike to update things like that. Next, you got After Hours, again, Clover's show, which will usually be epic on Thursdays. He talks about how these things work. And then, of course, our show ends the night, or maybe it's the end of the show. I don't have a guest host anymore. See, I don't know what happens. After the show, I yell at them for maybe like 20, 30 minutes. I top my lungs. I berate them and blame them for why the show isn't more successful. But whatever. Now they're not going to come back. So they have issues. We'll decide what we're going to keep doing as time goes on here. And I think we'll wrap it up with that. So thanks everybody who's been chatting out there. If anybody wants to continue the chat, I'm sure there's going to be something over on Gun Channels tonight. I don't see anything live yet, but I'm sure somebody, actually Live Knives is probably live still, and there's some people in there before the show. I'm going to be working on this project here. I'm going to continue to do that. But thanks for Stephen for offering to jump in, and I'm sure we'll get some hosts again in the future who can handle some half an hour or so of loud criticism. But I guess with that, I can find my audio here. Appreciate whoever it was that used the link over on Gun Channels. I don't remember what show it was that I talked about that, but there's a link over here for Palmetto State and Brownells. It alternates between the two. And somebody used the link on one of them for like $26, and that brought in $1 something. So every dollar counts, every dollar helps. Appreciate that very much. So that was like the first time anybody's clicked on that link like this year. So it was pretty cool. I don't even really know, since I haven't got much feedback, if my volume's been working or what, but everybody has definitely said hello to each other out there, and thanks for that. Thanks for the 16 people that thumbed it up. Thanks to the people participating over on the Gun Channel side, and we'll be back tomorrow.
The guys and gals of GunWebsites.com encourage you to take a CCW class every year, practice at least once a month, and carry every day. Thanks for watching GunWebsites.com.